Is Florida State a huge problem for Alabama this season? Justin Riley here from the Bama Standard Network. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and get in this comment section below. I got to hear from you on this topic. You know what scares me about this Florida State game? It's not Florida State, it's Alabama. Stay with me. Because everybody keeps talking about revenge. Everybody keeps talking about Mike Norvell, what he did to us last season. Everybody keeps talking about what happened the last time these two teams met. But nobody is talking about the elephant in the room. Who's Alabama's quarterback? Think about it. As Alabama prepares for Florida State, we still might not know whether it's Keelon Russell or Austin Mack taking the first snap. One is the five-star phenom everybody has been waiting on. The other is the veteran who knows Ryan Grubb's system and has been fighting for this opportunity. And if Alabama is still sorting this out heading into a game of this magnitude, maybe Florida State should feel pretty good. Maybe. Because quarterback uncertainty gets people beat. Quarterback uncertainty creates hesitation. Quarterback uncertainty creates doubt. And Florida State already knows they can beat Alabama, right? And then there's Ashton Daniels. That's another reason Florida State fans are feeling confident, because Daniels isn't walking into this game wondering what Alabama looks like. He's already seen it. Last season as Auburn's quarterback, he stood across from the Crimson Tide in the Iron Bowl. Doesn't get bigger than that, folks. And if we're being honest, he made some plays. There were moments where he put pressure on Alabama's defense. There were throws left on the field. There were opportunities that got away. A drop pass here, a missed decision there. One or two plays go differently, and maybe that game becomes a whole lot more comfortable for Alabama. You don't think he remembers that? You don't think he's looked at film 100 times? You don't think he walks into Bryant-Denny Stadium and finishes the job this time? Of course he does. And that's exactly what makes him dangerous. But here's what everybody keeps forgetting. Ashton Daniels remembers what he almost did to Alabama. Bray Hubbard remembers what he failed to do against Florida State. And those are two completely different motivations. Because if there's one player who doesn't need motivation for this game, it's Bray Hubbard. He knows he didn't play to Alabama standard the last time these two teams met. He knows there were moments he loved to have back. He knows his effort wasn't what it should have been. And sometimes the worst thing that can happen to an opponent is waking up a player who thought he was already awake. Because after that game, Bray Hubbard became a different player. The confidence grew, the leadership grew, the physicality grew, urgency grew. That game lit a fire under him. Now, Florida State has to come back to Tuscaloosa and deal with that player they helped create. Think about that. While everyone is asking whether Alabama has figured out its quarterback situation, nobody's asking whether Florida State can handle an Alabama defense that has spent entire offseason remembering. Nobody's asking what happens when Bray Hubbard gets another shot. Nobody's asking what happens when a team hears for months that Florida State exposed them. Because here's what I think. I think Alabama may still be figuring out whether Keelon Russell or Austin Mack is quarterback one. I think Ashton Daniels is going to walk into Bryant-Denny believing he should have beaten Alabama the last time he faced them. But I also think that Florida State is walking into a far more dangerous situation than they realize. You know why? Because quarterback competitions get settled. Talent eventually wins out. But embarrassment sticks with you. Every workout, every practice, every film session, every rep. And Alabama has spent an entire offseason being reminded of what happened against Florida State. We interrupt this awesomeness that you are no doubt enjoying to talk about our big sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks application. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports platform distinctly separate from sports betting. This app is really easy to use. Pick more or less on a few players' stats to create a lineup. Player picks, pick stats for individual players, points, yards, strikeouts, all those good things. Team picks, pick the winner, spread, and total on any major game. It's available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Sign up for Prize Picks with the code HMA and get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 plus lineup. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Now back to this video. So while the country is wondering whether Keelon Russell is ready, while the country is wondering whether Austin Mack can hold him off, while the country is wondering whether Ashton Daniels can finally finish what he started, I think they're asking the wrong question. The question isn't whether Alabama is ready for Florida State. The question is whether Florida State is ready for the Alabama team they created. Because if Bray Hubbard is playing with a chip on his shoulder, if that defense is playing angry, and if either Keelon Russell or Austin Mack gives Alabama competent quarterback play, which they will, this won't be a revenge game. This will be a warning shot that Alabama is done hearing about last year, and the rest of college football is about to remember exactly what Alabama football looks like when it's motivated. Get in that comment section below. I've got to hear from you now. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Roll Tide, folks.